I'm Maxine Moore. I am a retired English teacher from Seward High School. Clark Kolterman and I taught next door to each other for about 20 years. Clark is a people person. There is no question about that. Anyone who knows him knows that if you've ever met Clark, you are his friend, and he is your friend. As a teacher, Clark was always the champion for kids, whether they were high achievers, whether they were strugglers in the classroom but wanted to achieve, or even if they didn't have much interest in school. Clark was always there to encourage and to direct them in the right path to be successful.
Clark is full of energy, and I don't know when he sleeps. He's constantly thinking about what can I do, and how can I do it, and who can I get to help us do it, benefits Seward, Nebraska. You know, I think he's known for being Mr. 4th of July. And that all started back in 1969 when we were seniors in high school. Actually, in '68, he was a member of the Seward Youth Council, and decided that, hey, we need to modernize a celebration for the 4th of July and put Seward on the map, and we need to get kids involved in that. And so he recruited a lot of our fellow classmates to do that, and it was very positive. And he's chaired that committee, I believe, since its founding in 1969. And he just has always been real positive about getting that done. And I think if you talk to people about where do you want to go on the 4th of July, as I've crossed this state, I hear a lot of people say, well, if you haven't been to Seward, Nebraska on the 4th of July, you need to be there. He's also, he was very involved with tourism. On a state level, he was part of the Tourism Commission, worked very hard with people from around smaller communities around us. He likes this Visitors Bureau that he's involved with in Seward County, because he gets to interact with, go to conferences and interact with people that are doing the same thing in other communities. So yeah, Clark's always looking for ways to better this state, better this community, better his family, better his church, you name it. He's always looking for ways to improve what's going on in our communities.
I can remember the first time I met him, and like I said, I thought, man, is everybody in Seward like Clark? What a community. There's one Clark, and then there's many that are getting close to that level, but he's developed it as an art, and it's been fun to have him as a friend. To see this, because when they hear about Seward and they talk about the 4th of July and they talk about all the things that Seward does, you can go back to a certain small group of volunteers that do that. And Clark's usually in that mix. He's always in that mix. I would put Clark in those division commander type roles of, he's able to bring diverse groups because of his leadership. I always say, when Clark asks you to do something, no is not an option. It's just never, you can't say no. And there's very few people in the community that are like that. And I can name off maybe on one hand, but Clark's at the top of my list. We've become best of friends, and it's a daily huddle to talk about things in Seward with him, and it's enjoyable. I don't consider that a waste of time by any means. It's good friendship. He knows all the mechanisms, the people to reach out to and to call or whatever. And if you think about the size and scale of, say, the 4th of July in Seward, that one person could do that and do it in today's, where we have all this technology, really he's old school in the sense of it's relationships, it's developing those, and that's leadership, and is getting people to buy into what your vision is and to be part of this as a team member going in the same direction. So I think Clark is indicative of the leadership that we see here in Seward.
I mentioned before that Clark is everyone's friend. Neighbors, friends, think of the community outreach that he does. He is a tireless worker for Rotary, for Nebraska tourism, for his church, for educational activities at his church. As I mentioned, he still is an encourager and coach for student speakers. But more than that, he is just loyal and dedicated to the Seward community and to the people who live here.